Christian Horner has been fired by Red Bull Racing with immediate effect. We have literally just heard the news, Andrew, and so we wanted to jump on this call and discuss it and see if we can work out why. I mean, this is one of those sort of bombshell news pieces that we get in Formula One from time to time. But did you see it coming?
No, absolutely not. I mean, obviously, his position has been somewhat speculated about, to put it mildly, for over a year now. But no, I thought that, having survived last year, still being there this year, I thought he was there for the duration. But clearly not. And I can certainly have a punt as to what I think has happened, based on an understanding from somewhere. But it is an absolute bombshell.
There's very, very little actual information out there, confirmed information. There's been a short statement from Red Bull which basically says nothing. It thanks Horner for his service, his exceptional track records, but it doesn't say why he's gone. We haven't heard from Horner himself. We know that Laurent Mekies from Racing Bulls will take over as Red Bull Racing team principal. Alan Permane replaces Mekies. We know that Horner was in that post for 20 years. Ever since the team was founded. It took over Jaguar, didn't it, in 2005. And under his watch, Red Bull Racing went from a midfield, even back of the grid team, to a dominant force in Formula One. He oversaw multiple championships, 2 distinct periods of dominance, first with Sebastian Vettel, more recently with Max Verstappen. The team has won 6 constructors titles and 8 drivers championships and 124 Grand Prix. So for the last 15 years or so, Red Bull Racing has been one of the top teams in Formula One. But there was a scandal last year, as you've alluded to, a woman who made allegations against his conduct. And there have been reports more recently that Max Verstappen, we know that he's been courted by other teams, particularly Mercedes, and Verstappen hasn't exactly shut down those rumours. So the speculation is rife that Verstappen might be on his way out soon. But I just want to look a little bit at this season because it's become a real problem for Red Bull. It's a one-car team, right? And this stat is particularly startling. The second Red Bull this season in 12 Grand Prix has scored just 7 points. Max Verstappen has scored 165 points. So for whatever reason, Red Bull has become a one-car team, and Red Bull will probably finish a distant 4th in the constructors this season. So, I mean, those are just a few reasons why he might have been given the boot.
Yeah. So how much can we say? We understand, don't we, that the most likely cause of this is a him or me ultimatum from Max Verstappen's team. And that if they wanted to keep Max, they needed to lose Christian. And that is what we don't know this, but we understand that to be the root cause behind what has happened. And, I think it is, if that is true, doing it mid-season is pretty brutal. There would be an argument to say that, this season, let's say this season is gone, which I think in terms of both championships, it probably is. So why not see the season out and have a sort of orderly transition over the course of the winter? And I guess there are possibly 2 answers to that. One is maybe the situation within the team has become so toxic that it had become unsustainable. I suspect the more likely reason is to give the new guy a proper run-in, particularly given all the huge changes to the regs for 2026, and also within Red Bull, let us not forget, their own brand new powertrain with Ford coming in to help with the electronics and that sort of thing. So it is a period of massive upheaval for Red Bull, and my guess is that they took the view that if they're going to do it, they should do it now. But it is brutal. That said, someone like Liam Lawson would tell you that that's no more brutal for Christian than Christian was with him earlier in the year. And there will be, I'm afraid, yeah, probably, there will be lots of Schadenfreude going around. And people thinking that, Christian has had what's been coming to him for a long time. And who knows? But it is an extraordinary moment in this in this season. We need to also look a bit further afield. I imagine two people who will be breathing large sighs of relief right now are George Russell and Kimi Antonelli, because both their jobs appear now to be safe. Because you'd have to assume, wouldn't you, that if it was Max saying him or me, then getting rid of Horner would seal the deal with Max for next year at least. So we have to presume that Max is signed, sealed, and delivered for 2026, which means he's not going to Mercedes-Benz, which means that that is the second time that Toto Wolff have tried to grab him. The first time after obviously the departure of Lewis Hamilton, and the second time that he has failed to do so.
Yeah, indeed. God, the sort of ripple effects reach far and wide, don't they? So you're right. There's very little actual information out there, very little confirmed, other than Horner is out and Laurent Mekies is in. But we've done a little bit of digging, haven't we, since the news broke, and we've spoken to the people that we know in the paddock. And you're right, it does seem as though Horner has lost the support of the Thai majority co-owners at Red Bull, the Red Bull parent company, and that the Max Verstappen camp appears to have made an ultimatum: either Horner goes or Max goes, and anyone in their right mind would presumably choose to keep Max Verstappen over any team principal.
I think that's it, isn't it? I mean, Christian Horner, whatever you think of him personally, has done an extraordinary job for that team professionally. But yeah, you're absolutely right. If can you replace Christian Horner? Almost certainly. Can you replace Max Verstappen? Almost certainly not. The Max camp, we should just elaborate a little bit on what that is. I mean, the two major players within it are Helmut Marko, and obviously his dad, Jos Verstappen, who has never been shy when it comes to stirring the pot, and clearly hasn't been on this occasion. And yeah, so that's those are fairly powerful forces in the sort of get rid of Christian camp. And if, as we understand, Horner has lost the confidence of the Thai investors, who were the people who kept him there in the first place, despite all the efforts to get rid of him last year, then his days were clearly numbered. Doesn't in any way diminish just the sheer bolt from blue shock of what has happened. And I guess the other question to ask, to which I have precisely zero answer, is what future does Christian Horner have within Formula One? I mean, given his track record, you'd think there'd be someone who would have him. And wouldn't he love, and he would back himself at his age, because I think he's like early 50s, to do it all again somewhere else and create a massive two-fingered salute to the team that got rid of him. I don't know. But
might there be a team in the north of Italy looking for a team principal with a proven track record?
Well, I mean, wouldn't that be astonishing? But stranger things have happened, not least Christian Horner getting fired today out of the blue. So anything's possible, isn't it?
It is. We're going to keep an eye on this. More information will come out today and the days that come. It's a fascinating thing, so let's all stay tuned. We'll leave this one there. Thanks everyone for watching. But wow, big day of news in Formula One.